welcome to The Grill. On today's episode, I have got artists MR.K Poetry and Jenae in the building, or should I say in my building? Guys, thank you for joining us today, our UK grown artists. It's very
Hey.
How are you doing?
We're doing good, you know.
Good. Excited to be here, man.
Really good. Really excited.
Amazing. Well, to get us started, for our viewers who may not be aware of who you are, which I'm pretty sure they will be if they've been watching Extra Hot, but can you tell us briefly a bit about yourself? So your name, genre of the music you create, and how long you've been making music for?
Okay.
Would you like to go first?
I go first.
Yeah.
My name's Jenae Mills. I am from Wolverhampton, originally. Whoop, whoop. Been in London for 17 years, and now I'm back in the Midlands in Birmingham. I am a UK artist. I do the genres I like. I've got an eclectic mix of genres that I really like, but the ones that I really focus on is like house, dance, a bit of pop, and yeah, I really enjoy that. Might throw a little bit of R&B in there too, so yeah.
And how long have you been doing music?
Oh, how long have I been doing? Oh gosh, donkey's years. So I've been doing music since I was 16, and I'm 35 now. So yeah, a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't want to say that too much.
I know, yeah. Let's not over that. Yeah.
But yeah, my name, my real name is Jenae Mills, but my artist name is MR.K, and I am a spoken word hip hop artist. And yeah, I just merged those two genres together. A bit of a nice mishmash, and I've been doing music for about probably 15 to 20 years as well. When I think about it. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for making us feel older than we are.
You guys have been in the game long. It's amazing.
A long time.
Tell me about
And it's
it.
been cool.
You must have seen it shift and change so much, right, from when you first started?
Definitely. I think being teenagers and being in the music industry, well, just working with a lot of other people, it really helped us glean a lot of, experience and the sharpening that we now apply to what we do now. And yeah, there's been highs and there's been lows, but I think that goes with anything, to be honest, I'd say. But it's really changed. And obviously since the last 2 years, last year and everything, and the artists and the music industry and the creative arts industry, it's really taken a hit. And you find a lot more people really now, saying, oh, I've got to do more of this. So yeah.
I mean, like, just to give
people, hasn't it? The pandemic.
Yeah, and when I think about when we started, we were still using cassettes and MySpace. Do you know what MySpace is?
I remember MySpace. I never had it because my dad was like, "You can't have that." But like, it was when I was maybe around. I was probably like 10 to 12 years old when that was like a really big thing. So,
yeah, it was MySpace, FacePick. We had FacePick at that time.
High five.
And cassettes, and my CD player that I would have in my
So
showing our age.
Crazy how times change. But tell me, like, what or who has inspired you to get when you got into music? What was it that inspired you both? Because was it something that you've always both been passionate about, or was this something that you met and kind of connected with? Because obviously you're married now. Like, did it all start?
Well, for me, I've grown up with music around me for ages. Like, my mom was a singer. My dad loves and adores music, and him and his brothers had an amazing vinyl collection. Wow. And it was always music around me. Anytime there was karaoke, my dad would get up and sing, and I'd sing as well, really having fun with it. So really it's just family, family members and extended family and friends as well, that church, and that really helped. And then I think just before marriage as well. That it's always been there, but it was great to find somebody who had shared the same passions about the music as I did, you know. So
but yeah, a bit similar to Jenae. My parents had a crazy vinyl collection, and growing up in a Christian household, most of that was gospel. Had your Motown as well, bits of R&B. But really, it was hip hop that grabbed me from a really young age. And I developed over the years a love and hate relationship with hip hop, because the kind of hip hop I was drawn to, I absolutely loved the style of it, but I couldn't really play the content of it out loud in the house. And then the more I started getting into my faith and growing in that area, I started paying a bit more attention to content. And I guess when I started like trying this thing out with the artistry, I found that that's the style that it was coming out in, you know, just mixing the spoken word, where you're very, very focused on the content of what you're saying, with the energy and the style of hip hop, and something that really connects with people. In terms of artists that influenced me, I'd say Propaganda is a very huge influence.
He's a big influence.
Yeah, he's a very big influence. Like
trying to play it down.
It's a little bit of propaganda.
Let's just say, if I met him in real life,
he'd go out.
I probably wouldn't be playing it this cool, you know. I'd try to, but I know.
Yeah. You soon get out your autograph book. Can I have your autograph?
Oh my God.
Yeah. He'd have it ready. It's like in his back pocket, just in case. I'll just kind of slide away.
But you know, it's interesting that you say that about the message of hip hop and stuff, and the content of these tracks, and that, you know, it's a thing that it sounded great. They had the vibe and everything. But it's something that you couldn't play out loud. Like, I totally resonate with that music, because I'm like, you find a track that's a vibe, but then you listen to it, you're like, I don't endorse this. This is terrible.
Exactly.
But like with Affinity Xtra, we're always looking at, particularly with my show, I like to review artists based on the message that they're bringing to people. And I remember when I met you, Mr. K, I remember when I first met you, you were telling me about this passion you had around this message of between dreams and reality. Tell us a bit more about that, because that's come out in your music a lot, especially in your recent track that we played as well.
Yeah, thank you. So the latest album I did was Between Dreams and Reality, and I basically took that theme head on. And I guess it kind of came from years of wrestling with this whole concept of, you know, purpose and dreams, and going for your dreams, living your dreams, living your best life, all of these kind of things. Like, what does that even mean? And I feel like when I was really young, I had a limited view of what that meant, and I chased it hard. So for me, success was, hey, I'm gonna be a big time artist. Everyone's gonna know my name. My music's gonna get out there. I'm gonna be able to do it full time. And that's all I need. That's what's gonna make me happy. And then you get a little bit older, you finish uni, you realize that you need to find a job.
You need to work.
You get married.
Actually earn money.
You know,
you have to survive.
Real life starts kicking in, and then this dream you had, you know, it isn't really at that moment in time bringing in the money, or things are going a bit slower than you thought, and then you're now revisiting, all right, but God, I feel you gave me this dream. What's going on? Do I need to do you know what I mean? And just kind of wrestling with that for a few years, I kind of landed on this image that I believe God showed me, where it's like I was looking through a keyhole, and my definition of success was to see Mr. K blowing up on stage, and that's it. And God said, success is not just you doing Mr. K and doing the music. Success is you having a beautiful marriage. Success is you having good mental health. Success is your finances being in a good state. Success is your relationships with others being healthy. All of these are other things, and music is a part of that. It's not the whole thing. So then I had to also realize that actually what was a good thing was becoming a bit of an idol. And I had to put it back in its place.
You had to put it down for a while.
It made me fascinated with this concept, and in terms of, and maybe like facilitating, I should say, conversation around this, because when people talk of dreams, sometimes there's so many nuances to it that you don't get all of that. And I really wanted to do something to encourage people to see the bigger picture. And if I'm honest, I'm still on that journey.
But it is a journey, isn't it? It's really much of a traveling thing. So it just really, it's something that's like testimony in progress. So you're seeing it as it goes along. So it's not always finished. Some things will get finished, but not everything. And I think that also encourages other people when they look in, that it's the authenticity of it. Actually, we're not exactly where we want to be at this moment in time, but we recognize where we are and we appreciate that this moment, because whatever we need to, like I said before, glean from, then we take it on board.
Embrace the journey.
And then you get more content then. So more content.
No, 100%. Because I mean, Jenae, I've been following your journey with music, and it's been an absolute inspiration of how you've grown in confidence and everything. And you've now established yourself with your latest track that came out. I've been inspired watching your journey. Like, take it from if I'm just the one person, that's more than enough, isn't it, really? But I've really been inspired by your journey and your growth as an artist from years. Like, it's incredible. And that you guys totally embed and kind of reflect that message that you want to get out through the music. I think it's a really crucial message to get out as well.
Thank you.
Now, recently, Jenae, you collaborated with, am I right? Is it Mr. It was K Collective?
It's the K Collective. So they're K Collective. They're a quartet of geniuses, basically. Super producers, artists in their own right. And I've known them for years. Some are in London, some are based in Wolverhampton and Oxford. And I've been working with one of them called J.O. I've known him since I was 16, and we all went to the same church together in London, in Ealing Christian Centre when we were living there, and we grew up together on music and being taught by our worship leader called Sam Blake, and really been given the tools that are necessary to bring a message forward and how to conduct yourself and work with a spirit of excellence. It's not just oh God knows my heart, and and I just do. It's more like God knows my heart, and because of that, and because of the love I have for him, we want to work, we want to sharpen, we want to keep going and keep learning. So that's what we did. And now we're here, we're all of us, well, actually all of us are married. And, we've always worked together. So Colours, K Collective, working with them during the pandemic was really, really amazing. Really amazing. Yeah.
And so that was something that actually started from within the pandemic and then was like released towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's called Colours, if anybody's heard it already on the amazing show.
Watching the Extra Hot show.
If they've been watching, you should have heard it. And Colours came from a place of, I think for everybody in the pandemic, things that were normal had just been turned on its head. And if you weren't at home 24/7, you were now. And for myself and Kwesi, we've been married 7 years now. It's our 8th year this year. And like I said, you have your highs, you have your lows. But we had recognised that being at home 24/7 with each other, we realised, we're really, really good with the creative, really, really amazing. We can work together. And not everybody does that in their marriages, where you can work together creatively and whatever else. But actually, there's areas within our back office that have been neglected, and we recognized that those were like the grey areas, the dark areas, and we just made a decision that we were going to really work hard to work on those areas. I felt like, though the pandemic it was a nightmare, it's been traumatic, global trauma for everyone, we did still see God's hand in it and what he was able to do in our marriage and bring colour back in. And that's what we're talking about, authenticity and bringing a message, and that message was of hope. Not everybody made it during that year and even now, but there's many that did. And because just the people around them, and where I'd say just where the people around you, I cannot say thank you enough to our family and friends who have been very supportive of us and stuff, and even the K Collective, and to have Colours come out and to be able to inspire other people to keep working at whatever they've got. And it doesn't even have to be to do with a marriage. It could be just relationship with your family, friends, you know, your neighbors, whatnot, to bring color back in. And I thought that was really important to share that message. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a very key message, I think, for this time we're in, unless we get back to this like new normal, you know, like we're figuring out what life's going to look like. It's like, how do we continue that color in our lives? Like, it's and honestly, and this is why I love talking to artists, where the content of what they create, there's a message that's going forth, which is more than just the surface stuff. It goes so much deeper. And that's what creativity is about, isn't it? It's about making that long kind of impacting someone's heart. That creativity does that. Do you know what I mean? It's incredible.
It is.
So it's a bit, go carry on.
No, you go.
I was going to say that it's also part of having a bit of vulnerability as well. I think we've all learned how to put on a mask and be a certain way through life, and the masks were like stripped off because everybody, you know, and you give enough time for the pandemic and being home and whatnot, your true colors are going to come through. And you know, just being able to share a little bit about like being vulnerable as a married couple, some, you know, you keep it in the house, do you know what I mean? You don't really speak out, nobody really does therapy and all this, or don't do this, but it's now brought a lot of things to the surface. Mental health is a big, like now at the forefront. Actually, we need to talk to each other, we need to speak. And if we've been given this responsibility with this gift, you know, we have a responsibility to share those parts.
And that's so key, because actually where you landed is something I was going to say. The whole point of creativity and the whole point of having these gifts is not simply, oh, God gave me this so I can try and look cool, or so I can try.
I mean, look at us.
I mean, I know we're cool, but
listen, come as you are on the grill. Come as you are.
She's my stylist.
We look great up there, you know.
But all I'll say is, like, sometimes people make the mistake of thinking these gifts are just for me and try to make myself look good. But actually, you know, it's like, I use this example sometimes, like, does a surgeon or a doctor go around town and say, hey, look at me. I did surgery. I healed people. The best doctors, you know, like, it's not about that. It's about the job, and it's about serving. You know what I mean? So when you like, creativity is actually about serving, and when it's used well, I believe it reflects the world back to people and reflects people back to themselves. And it creates conversations. And I mean, it's not all deep. Sometimes it's just a release and having fun and everything, but it's something that helps you get in touch with your emotions. And you know, that's a big part of us all as a community and society. So
Oh, I love that. I gave me goosebumps. You guys are so good. Now, you've also moved into doing a new podcast lately, haven't you? Like, with another friend of yours. There's 3 of you, isn't there, doing this podcast? Tell us a bit more about this podcast and what it is, what you're doing with it. Tell us about it.
Brilliant. So just on that note of creativity and asking ourselves, like, why have we been blessed with these gifts, and why do we have a burning passion to use them to engage with the world and impact the world? We connected with another creative called Arthur Sempebwa, who is an amazing filmmaker. He calls himself a video Jedi, and he really is.
Love that.
Video editing Jedi. And in talking, the 3 of us talking together, there was such a synergy, and we said, hey, you know, we need to explore these topics I mean, these are the conversations we had all the time, but it's like, you know what, we should do a podcast. And so we sat down and we thought about, right, what do we call this podcast? And we didn't know what to call the podcast. So
no idea.
That became the name of the podcast. We don't know what to call this podcast.
I love it.
Which is sometimes it's about just getting on with it, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? So we launched this podcast last year, and faith, culture, and creativity.
Those are our 3.
That's our tagline. That's the slogan, and those are the 3 main areas that we focus on. So all 3 of us are believers. We love Jesus. We all come from different cultural backgrounds. You know, I'm from a Ghanaian background. Jenae's from a Jamaican heritage, born and raised in the UK, and Arthur is Ugandan heritage here. So there's so many different things culturally that we've come from and that we see, and then creativity the singing, the music, the video production, but also the three of us wanting to be leaders in our own right and use our gifts to serve community. So yeah, season 1's out already. It's on all streaming platforms. And yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's such a
lot
vibe.
of fun.
Remind us,
the topics are crazy.
The podcast with no name. No, we don't know what to call this podcast. That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's called. On Instagram, it's at What to Call This Podcast, because it was too long to be the full name.
Yeah,
it's just a competition of like people suggest names.
Yeah, Instagram was like nah.
Instagram wasn't having
it.
Fam. Too long.
Yeah, it's too long. Just call it podcast.
Everything's too long for Instagram these days.
Yeah, it really is.
But that's amazing. It's lovely hearing about how 3 creatives are all coming together and there's this crossroads of intersection where then you get that faith culture, and it's amazing. It's so exciting. So I'm hoping our viewers will go and check that out. And last but certainly not least, where can people be finding all your music? What platforms are you streaming on? How can they find you guys?
We everywhere, girl.
We're on MySpace.
No,
bring it back.
No,
You're like, MySpace.
MySpace. What?
Yeah, my generation be like, huh?
Yeah, like we're telling our students Top of the Pops. They're like, what on earth is Top of the Pops? And you
it's
know,
mad. I know Top of the Pops at least. I know that.
Right,
good.
Okay, so you can find. Well, I'll just start with mine. It's I am Jenae Mills. It's spelt. This is social media.
Yep.
So Instagram, Facebook. I'm Jenae Mills, which is Jenae. That's how you spell it. I am Jenae Mills. And yeah, you can find my music Colours, and I also have another single, one of my debut singles called Ruby Red, that is also out as well on Spotify, on every platform, to be honest, and streaming platforms. So yeah, that's mine.
And for myself, I mean, you won't find me by my government name. You'll find me by the name Mr. K. So first of all, my social media handles are at MR.K Poetry on everything, and streaming platforms, Mr. K. You'll find my 2 albums, My Great Transition and Between Dreams and Reality, and
all that
and everything.
Jazz. Yeah.
So and we're both really up for connecting.
Yeah,
with people
definitely.
as well, so feel free, DM us, do that. And I forgot, sorry, the podcast.
Yes, the podcast.
Yeah.
So on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. At the moment, we're on Spotify. We're on, I think, Apple. Everything.
We out there.
Just search for We Don't Know What to Call This Podcast, and you'll find it. And on social media, we're at What to Call This Podcast.
But you'll find it when you click
follow
for us.
They'll find it from you, won't they? Interconnection. It's very good. It's a good strategy.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on The Grill today.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to chat to you guys. You have such a broad scope of genres, and your creativity is so broad between you both. And I can just see why God put you together to be like, now go create. It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you for the platform. Bye.
Peace out, guys.
Visit us for updates and shows at affinityextra.co.uk.